Is gone, everybody, and welcome back to All Things Football. We are back with United Talk, which we haven't done for a while. A lot has been happening, especially this week at the football club, and we are here to go through it all. It's been a while since we've done this. It's been a while since Manchester United have actually made me happy on a Sunday afternoon. A good, I'd say convincing-ish 4-2 win against Leeds at Ellen Road. They waited 19 years to get spanked again. I don't know what they were expecting differently, to be honest, but a few brave decisions from the manager today, which I'm going to have to give him credit for. You're talking about taking off Pogba, not starting Varane, leaving McTominay on the pitch, starting Lingard as well. What do you think of today's match?
Yeah, obviously 2-0 halftime. I was happy. I was like, yes, we've got the win, guaranteed win. And then we can see 2 in 24 seconds. And then you're like, oh, not again. But it's Leeds United. They're going to attack and they're not going to defend. So at the end of the day, we got the win. It's a good enough performance. It was a good performance anyway, overall, apart from the 10 minutes or in the second half, which we always don't play well. But apart from that, because Leeds don't defend, we're always going to score goals when we attack. So, overall, I'd say it's a good performance. Not the best. Obviously, they obviously wants a clean sheet following on from Brighton, but they managed to keep a clean sheet. But we've got the 3 points, and that's what matters.
I'm glad that you mentioned he wanted the clean sheet following on from Brighton, because one thing that I can confidently say about Manchester United is we fail to have any sort of consistency in any department. We can win a game, but we'll concede, or we can play average, not win a game, but it'll be a 0-0 or a 1-1. We don't seem to be able to get 3 clean sheets in a row, as well as getting the win. You can have a clean sheet in a 0-0 draw, but you haven't got the win. It's things like that. And at the same time, I can also say over the past couple of weeks, I've been getting a little bit more confident with this United team. We seem to have a little bit more cohesion. Obviously, the defensive inconsistencies in terms of should Maguire play, Varane has to play. And when I first saw the team sheet and Varane was on the bench, I thought he was injured or something, because you don't really look for Varane's name on the bench. I thought he was injured, but then I remembered we have Atletico Madrid midweek, so that made a bit more sense. But Lindelof coming in with arguably, if you consider the 2 goals, I don't really think Lindelof was at fault for any of them, but he could have been up there for a man of the match shout, to be honest.
He did have that run late into the second half where he then set off to SANCHO, who assisted Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
So,
but that wasn't the only time.
Yeah,
he was very good. He was good defensively. He was good bringing the ball out, and he was more assured on the ball than he usually is. Because I cannot remember the quote 100%, but I just remember that he said something earlier. It was like he needs to become more confident on the ball. He said this himself, and whatever he's been doing recently with his timeout or in training, it's definitely showing on the pitch. You can tell he's changing his approach to it all, because before it would be like he looks a bit like Bambi, a bit nervous when he's coming out. He'll look up, can't find the pass, then he'll bring out a couple more yards, and then he'll think, oh, I'm here now, I have to go. But now it's like, I'm going to drive forward, I'm going to drive into that space, and I'm going to pass it there when I get there. And you can just tell maybe he's just changing his attitude towards it all a little bit.
You could say that he's learning from Maguire, because that is something Maguire is very good at.
Yeah, I'm joking.
And we can't deny it. That is what Maguire is good at. And obviously Lindelof is now gaining the confidence to do that even more. And we know Lindelof can pick a pass. We've seen the assists he's done to Rashford in the past. He can pass a ball very well and accurately. But yeah, he is becoming more assertive on the ball. I think that's probably a reason why Maguire still starts games, even though we feel maybe he shouldn't, because he's not the best defensively. But him being on the ball, having a confident defender on the ball, I think Maguire is the best defender on the ball. He's better than Varane on the ball. When I see Varane on the ball,
United.
Yeah,
okay.
When Varane is on the ball, even when Varane's on the ball, he doesn't seem as confident as Maguire does. But Maguire is confident on the ball. That's probably why he might start games.
Yeah, I can back that. I can see that point of view, but I still don't think he should be starting. The partnership for me should be Lindelof on Varane, because for what Maguire gives you on the ball, Lindelof can give you the same. And what Maguire doesn't give you, Varane can give you pace, assuredness, calm, composed defending and genuine experience at the highest level. Quality in his game consistently. I remember when he came to Manchester United, when anyone comes to Manchester United, there's going to be he's dead, let me give you a fail comp. The fail comp was about a minute long, and it was one game against Man City in the Champions League. Over the last 10 years, Maguire gets fail comp every 2 weeks, and it's updated. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about with the Varane and Varane versus Maguire. Varane should be the starting centre back, and I believe he is, which is why he's been rested today.
Yeah.
But I do think it should be Lindelof next to him. But one thing you said about Lindelof, he can pick out a pass. Bones to pick with Scott McTominay. In the game today, he was hiding.
He hides all the time. All the time.
Why do you think Lindelof has to go long or back to the Gea pretty much every time? McTominay, the one who's meant to come, it's on his side, by the way. The one who's meant to come and collect the ball off the centre back. I'm seeing him. There was one time he passed the ball back to Lindelof, and he had a leisurely jog next to Maguire for about the next 5 seconds. You're meant to pass the ball to Lindelof. I don't think, okay, let me give him an option to get the ball back. Didn't even provide an option, so Lindelof had to go long. It's just things like that.
He doesn't want the ball. When you're playing in that position, you have to want the ball. You're dictating play. You're the one who needs to get the ball off the defense. You're the link between defense and field and to attack. You need to want the ball. He doesn't want it. I can picture Donny van de Beek. Donny van de Beek is always getting positions to want the ball. Unfortunately, he's now on loan at Everton. But we need a player in that position who wants the ball. I know, obviously, Man United want to buy a midfielder in the summer, hopefully. And hopefully they'll look to address that position because you need someone who wants to collect the ball off the back four. Someone like a Matic in his prime. Obviously, McTominay is not that player. We're trying to mold him into that player, or maybe he's just there just to fill the gaps for now because we'd have a player who can do it. But for now, he needs to be doing it. Obviously, he's not the player in the future to have that role, but he needs to do it. You can't just hide in games like this. Yes, you can do tackles here and there and win the ball back, but we need you to do the other part of the game instead of us just forcing it long because then we're not necessarily controlling the game if we're always having to go long and play off Ronaldo, for example. He's just, as he said, he just hides. I don't know why.
It's a consistency. It's a consistent thing that confuses me as to why the managers can't see it. I'd be very, very interested to see what goes on in training because he must be absolutely electric in training. He must be offering for every pass. He must be receiving the ball well, turning, looking up, scanning, passing it. Very, very few failed passes. It must be like that in training because when it comes to match day, if he's playing anything like that in training, I can't see how he gets picked. I'd rather Fred have started next to Pogba, to be honest. And obviously, when he did come on,
I actually wanted Fred to come on and McTominay to come off.
Yeah, but you could totally understand the reason why Pogba came off. Look, Ranić could have used the excuse, and I would have believed him. He is still recently back from injury, a long-term injury. So, playing him for 90 minutes week in, week out isn't really something you can do now, especially since we have the first leg of the Champions League game against Atletico on Wednesday. So I can understand that. Obviously, in the heat of the moment when you're 2-2 against Leeds, you're thinking, why is Pogba coming off it? Then now's not the time to bring your most creative player off. But obviously, both of the substitutes scored, Elanga and Fred. So hats off to Ranić. He got to give credit where credit's due. So obviously, I saw a tweet earlier that says, every day Ranić reminds me why I'm only good at managing on FIFA or something, because that's not a substitution you make on FIFA, but in real life it works.
That's true.
I can't complain. I have no complaints apart from the 2 goals we conceded.
I have to say that when Fred came on, he actually changed the game. That's what we can see in the title. Pastor Fred answers our prayers. He actually came on and changed the game. He had so much energy about him when he came on, getting forward. Obviously, we know it's going to be like a back and forth game against Leeds, but to still come on and have the energy in a game which was very, very physical, because obviously the conditions made it that way. But he came on, got the goal, and Fred was really good. And I think Fred could start Champions League against Atletico.
I think he will. I think that's why he wasn't starting today, to be honest. But then look, McTominay's like a cockroach. He's a cockroach. You can't kill him, and by that I mean you can't drop McTominay for whatever reason. McTominay drops stinker after stinker,
But Champions League, he doesn't really play. He doesn't play Champions League though.
I mean, that's not something I know off the top of my head. I can't really remember the squads, but I do believe Fred was rested because he will be playing midweek. I also believe he had a recent injury as well, a small one, a minor injury. Yeah, I feel like I believe. Wasn't it like an ankle injury or something after we went away from Brazil? Or am I thinking? I might be completely wrong.
That might be in the past.
I don't know why I keep thinking
I think he was just benched because obviously after international he came back from Brazil. Just like Telles.
Oh, Telles, they're COVID or something. Telles and Fred both had COVID, I believe. They were out. They were unavailable for selection for like a game or something. So maybe he's getting eased back in as well. But I do think he'll start against Atletico, who today themselves won, I believe. So, they're finding some sort of form. But this Fred off the bench impact subs type thing, I think that could be something for the future in terms of over the next couple of years, because we are looking to bring in a new midfielder. Ranić's made that known to the press in press conferences or whatever. If we get hopefully in the summer, we don't sign a midfielder who needs to like be adjusted and acclimatized to the Premier League and force his way into the
Yuri Tielemans.
Listen, I don't see Yuri Tielemans. I don't see how that would make sense because he's not a DM. He's a centre midfield, kind of like a box to box. Like Ndidi is their DM. Tielemans is the Pogba of that team in a sort of sense. Like we need a defensive midfielder that's allergic to getting forward. We just need someone that's going to sit.
But I know Tielemans can do that role.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't need someone. Oh, he can do it. We need someone who is that. Because Pogba can do it.
Because you could say that Declan Rice is the role, but as we're seeing now, he's now playing as box to box.
Yeah, but
would you want to then sacrifice him being a box to box just for him to be a sole DM? What if you're someone who can do all of it? And why? Like, I don't see a problem with that.
I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna reply in the way that I think makes the most sense. If you want someone who can do all of it, then you want someone whose primary skill or primary development as a player is the defensive midfield, not someone who's more attacking. Like Tielemans loves to get forward. He makes late runs into the box. He hangs outside the edge of the box, but then he also has played defensive midfield a little bit. Not for Anderlecht when he came through. Doesn't do it for Belgium. Witsel does it for Belgium, and he rarely does it for Leicester because they have Ndidi. Yeah, he might slot in if Ndidi's not there, but his primary position is a box to box. Declan Rice's primary position is a centre defensive midfielder. Shields the back four, shuffles across when the ball goes across, and collects the ball. Even plays centre back sometimes. Tielemans can't play centre back. Now, as he's developing his game and getting more mature, he's a captain of West Ham. His hype is going up. He's improving as a player. He can also play box to box. That's not his best position. Defensive midfielder is his best position. I'd rather have that type of a player than the Tielemans type of a player because he's going to be better. I want the player's best position to be a defensive midfielder. I want that to be their default setting, basically. That's what I want because we've had enough of these players at Manchester United. Pogba, McTominay, Fred, and Herrera, a good example. He could play DM, but that's not his best position. I'd say he's like Tielemans. Schneiderlin was a DM. He just wasn't very good at it. Matic, we just got him a little bit too late. Michael Carrick was the last person there who was the perfect fit for the role, and we still haven't been able to replace him. We need someone like that, not another Ander Herrera. If you're going to have another Ander Herrera, then you have to play him next to Matic, to be perfectly honest. And that's why I just don't really think we should be going in for Yuri Tielemans. If we're going for Tielemans, then we still have to go in for a DM.
Yeah, I guess Tielemans is more if Pogba leaves, then we get Tielemans.
Exactly.
But our priority is a CDM. And obviously, if Pogba stays, then he stays. Great. You know what? We'll get into Pogba later, but I have some conspiracies.
I like conspiracies.
But yeah, we're gonna talking about the midfield. We'll keep talking about the midfield. Talk about Bruno Fernandes, his contribution to the side this whole week. Obviously against Brighton, he got one. Who got the assist at Brighton? Pogba got the assist for Bruno. Who got the assist for?
I can't even remember that game.
Who scored the first goal?
Listen.
Yeah, I've actually forgotten.
You said Brighton. I was like, we play Brighton. Results. Let me just find this out quickly. Ronaldo and Fernandes.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, okay, yeah. We dispossessed Basuma in midfield.
Now I remember.
And then Ronaldo scored, ending his longest goal drought since
2010.
2010.
His first season at Madrid.
But yeah, Bruno Fernandes. His all-time stats since joining the club are just they're crazy, and yet people still doubt him.
It's Twitter. It's Twitter.
They're still doubting him, but he is one of the best midfielders in the league,
in the world. In this position, he's one of the best in the world. I will argue with anyone. Just because, listen, people are too obsessed with the ball retention stats, this and that. But when you post a stat saying Bruno Fernandes has created 74 chances in the Premier League this season, apparently that's not important. He's the highest chance creator in the league. He's got more chances created than the Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got more chances created than Kevin De Bruyne. But apparently Fernandes is rubbish. He's got more goals than De Bruyne. He's got more assists than De Bruyne. But that doesn't get spoken about enough. I need to double check that actually, just in case.
Yeah,
I believe that's true. I believe that is true. He's got more goals than De Bruyne, and he also has more assists than De Bruyne. Yeah, so I was right. But you know, he's rubbish. He's underrated. If this is Fernandes' worst season, oh gosh, have your worst season every season, bro, because this is extraordinary. The stats he posts every week, whether or not he's getting an assist, he's still creating the chances. Yes, he might lose the ball a few times, but that's because he's trying the tricky pass. He can see Ronaldo in the corner of his eye for a split second, and the ball's coming to him. Yeah, he's going to try and play that over the top first time. Sometimes it will come off, and sometimes it won't. And we have to remember that strikers and other players don't score every shot they take. That's honestly, I've kind of just stopped biting at the Twitter trolls talking that Fernandes is rubbish, because he's just not. And it stems from jealousy, I think, and that's all I have to really say about it. I'm over it.
Exactly. Goal and assist today. It was a great goal, header. He also, what we don't see or what people don't talk about is his hard work. The way he works hard for the team. I don't know how he covers so much. He actually covers so much distance, and every game he plays to such a high intensity. Like, you'll see him at the opposition box, getting into their box, making runs into their box. Then you see him sprinting back to track back. He literally is working for the team, and then you'll see him in the last minute sprinting to try and close on the goalkeeper like a headless chicken. Literally, he runs everywhere. I'm sure, obviously, Solskjaer, Ranić, all managers just love to have him in the team. There was obviously a period where he was benched. Was it under Solskjaer or was it under Ranić?
I believe it was Ranić. Probably for like one game or something.
Yeah, it was one game, I think. I think he just needed a rest, to be honest, because Solskjaer was just playing him. Solskjaer was basically abusing him, the way he was being played under Solskjaer. But yeah, he's literally our main. I actually was thinking during the game, is Bruno our key player? I'm saying right now he is our key player, but I'm saying Sancho is going to become our key player.
I think
Sancho is going to become the player to. Oh, it's true. Yeah, we could have more than one, but I'm saying Sancho will also become a key player. He's also one that is going to start putting up stats just like Bruno Fernandes. And that we can just move on to Sancho. 2 assists today. Could have had a goal. Should have had a goal. But Sancho's the player. He doesn't care if he gets a goal or not. He just wants to contribute to a goal, get an assist or score a goal. and he will make sure he does it. He's literally very composed. So he had the composure to wait for the options to come, and then he played it to Elanga, who should have scored. But Sancho, what have you got to say about Sancho?
Listen, I've just been waiting for him. The jokes were funny on Twitter. Sancho cameo, whatever, the picture of troops.
Yeah,
vaping.
I've seen that too many times.
I haven't seen that in a while though. I haven't seen it in a while because he's finally showing up. He'd never played in the Premier League before he went to the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga was his upbringing in senior football. He had to acclimatize. He went to the Euros, didn't get as much of a preseason. He didn't get a preseason at all, to be honest. Didn't get much of a rest as the other players in the league and the Manchester United squad. There was little sprinkles of class and skills and good games here and there, but he just wasn't able to get his assists. I saw a compilation recently of all the chances he actually created and the sitters that our players weren't scoring. He could have had 8-9 assists by now, to be perfectly honest with you, but we just haven't been finding the back of the net as much. But now, as I said before, the team is just making me I'm getting a little bit more confident with Manchester United now. And that's because of players like Jadon Sancho. Paul Pogba's back. Bruno Fernandes is getting better. Rafa Varane's in the team. De Gea's producing world-class saves every single match. Luke Shaw's putting in steady performances. Fred, I'm taking more of a liking to him now. We have a good core, I think. And I keep looking at the table now. I know teams have games in hand on us, but it's all about the points on the board at the moment, as we are perfect examples of just because you have games in hand doesn't mean you're going to win them. But Jadon Sancho is a massive part of where we are right now. He still has such a long way to go, even this season. We obviously signed him on potential, but we also signed him on borderline world-class talent now, because when he was at Dortmund, look, he was posting 20 assists a season with 15 plus goals, even 20 goals, I think, in not the last season, but the season before. He's a stat padder. That's what he is. And that's not a bad thing. I don't know why people use that as a sort of insult, if you like. If you're a stat padder in football, then you have genuine talent, and he's only 21. I think people forget how young he is because of the way he plays. He's so mature. Like, as you said, with the Elanga shot that he missed, he waited and he could have just easily passed it off to Ronaldo, giving him a more difficult angle to try and get a goal from, but he waited for Elanga. We can't hear what the shouts are on the TV or whatever, but maybe Elanga was saying, "I'm here, 1 second, whatever, blah, blah, blah." But he waited. He makes the correct decisions almost all the time. But at the same time, he can humiliate you. He nutmegs you, will not make you again. He wants you to try and tackle him so he can beat you. He's a classy footballer. He's a street footballer, and he's a mature footballer. He was brought in to play on the right wing, but I think he's a proper winger, man. He can play on both sides effectively, which is
he knows what he has to do as a winger. He is a winger.
Yeah.
Unlike someone like Rashford, who maybe doesn't understand the position as well, but Sancho knows the position. He knows what is required of him in that position.
I think Rashford does understand the position. I mean, we can even talk about it on today's show because it is Man United talk right at the end or after this. I just think Jadon Sancho's football IQ, if you want to call it that, is ridiculously high. Rashford, I don't think.
Yes, I mean, understanding of the position, because obviously, if your football IQ is higher, he understands the position more.
Yeah,
and obviously Sancho understands the position. He knows when to try and beat a man. He knows when Luke Shaw's doing a overlap. Let me hold and then play it into Luke Shaw, or let me get the cross in first time, just like the cross he did to Bruno Fernandes. It was a perfect cross, just lifted up in the air, and it was just perfect. That's when Sancho was on the right, because obviously there's points in the game where the wingers are switch. So Sancho might go on the right for a period of time, and then Lingard was on the left, or Elanga. And I think they do that just to give the fullbacks another problem to deal with. And it worked. It worked well in this game. Sancho got an assist from the right and from the left when Fred came on. And again, the Fred one, I'm pretty sure he could have crossed it into Ronaldo, who was in the box.
He could have even taken a shot. Could have tried to cut it.
Yeah, shot himself. But he's not thinking about, let me try and score from this crazy position when all these defenders are in front of me. Let me wait. Fred is coming. Let me just tap it to the left, and Fred has a shot on goal. I didn't expect Fred to shoot. I thought he was going to cross it, but it was a great goal anyway.
But then you have to remember, as I said before, like we can't hear the shouts or the talking that goes on the pitch when we're watching on TV. Fred would have been a massive part of that. He would have been saying to Sancho that you play football, I play football. If I'm making an overlapping run, I don't run with my mouth closed. I run with my mouth open and say, I'm on the overlap. I'm here, I'm on your left, I'm on your right, or whatever. Fred would have been in his ear from the second he passed that ball. Would have been like, time, I'm coming, overlap, play it. Sancho, I think, is different to Rashford because we're just talking about him in a way. Plays with his ears open and he plays with his head up, which I think is the most important thing, especially if you're playing on the wing. And I think if you're comparing them two, you have two completely different players. Rashford is a head down, flashy in terms of his individual moments type player, whereas Sancho is a head up, more of a team player. And that's not discrediting Marcus Rashford's contributions or achievements or whatever, but I just think Sancho is giving him a bit of a lesson here. Rashford shoots if he gets the ball from Fred. Might score, might not. We've seen him score from those positions before, and well done to him, and very good goals. I remember one against Liverpool when we won 2-1. Eric Bailly scored no goal. That sort of position. Rashford's done that. But Sancho, he has more to his game.
More composure.
Yeah, composure is important. I think that's the word that we haven't said yet. But Sancho's just giving him a lesson, and I can't see if Ranić wants to have Sancho as the left winger, I can't see Rashford getting in. I believe he was on the bench today.
He was on the bench. He didn't come on.
He didn't come on. Look,
Maybe
he might be getting safe for
Champions League. Yeah, he knows because obviously game plans change. You never know how Ranić might want to play against Atletico. Do Atletico play with a high line? Maybe he wants to have pace on the right.
They cannot play with a high line.
They don't. They play defensive. Yeah, I know how to say they play defensive. So it depends. Obviously, Sancho, if they play defensive, obviously Sancho, we know Sancho's a guaranteed starter. We know that now.
Ronaldo's going to start.
Ronaldo.
We could talk about the lineup.
Yeah, at the end. But yeah, Sancho, this is just the start. Again, this is just the start. He's just getting warmed up.
I'm excited.
It's actually a masterclass what he performed today against Leeds, in front of the Leeds crowd, a very hostile environment. This is derby, first time in front of the crowd. I don't know how many years it's been. And one of the toughest games of the season. It was such a physical game. And
the match at Ellen Road last year, was that empty stadium?
Yeah, it was empty. There was no fans.
Oh, so 19 years.
Fans. Yeah, so 19 years. And it was a very, very physical game because of the conditions. And yet Sancho was able to perform at such a high intensity. And he just looks fit. At the start of the season, he just looked much bulky. I remember you were saying he was like a Rooney type. You were saying that he's kind of bulky, but he just wasn't fit. Now he doesn't look like that. He looked much fitter, much faster, sharper on the ball.
Yeah, much faster.
He looks
rapid now. I'm excited. Look, we have until the end of the season to see what he can do in this campaign, obviously. But he's on 2 assists in the Premier League now. I'm expecting him to reach probably 8 or 9. I know that's a lot, but the way he's playing right now, the chances he's creating, same with Fernandes, the chances he's creating, he can't not be up there. And as a team, we're finding more confidence and we're finding the back of the net more often now. We were struggling for a bit, but I feel like we're getting some sort of mojo back. And you got to give credit to the team and Ralf Rangnick and the coaching staff as well. But one member of the coaching staff, or is he part of the coaching staff, Darren Fletcher, Rangnick came out earlier this week and said, what is his role in regard to the club? I don't really know, to be honest. I can only tell you what is happening in training sessions, around training sessions and games. In those areas, it's good to have him on board. Effectively, our technical director puts out the cones for the training sessions. I don't know if there's anybody else. One of the boys left after Solskjaer left, but Fletcher's... What's the point?
He's just here, put out the cone, joining the rondos,
Exactly.
That's it.
Every single time there's training pictures, Fletcher's there playing. Listen, when we changed the positions in the summer in terms of the managerial positions and the backroom staff, I in the nicest way possible, Fletcher needs to go, man, because he's obviously not really doing it. If our manager doesn't know what he does, why is he there? Why is he there? We're wasting money. We're wasting a wage on someone who could be replaced by an actual technical director who could maybe improve the club as well as the team instead of just playing in the training sessions. Like, I don't know.
It's a weird one, but yeah, he just doesn't need to be there. We did already touched on Pastor Fred. Obviously, him coming off the bench proved the game and probably play. He probably will start, or he should start on Wednesday in the Champions League. But yeah, Fred, he's doing well. This is what we need. We need him off the bench. That's where he's needed. Bring his energy off the bench and contribute to the team. But a player who definitely will be starting or pivotal in this team is Paul Pogba, back from injury, and it's like he never left. He's such a good player. He is one of the best midfielders, if not the best. In what I was gonna say, in what?
He's one of the best
in our team. Let's say in our team.
You bottled it, man. I think he's one of the best in the world. In his position, top 3, top 4. He's so effortlessly good. Treats his a one-on-one opponent like an infant.
He was that guy. He was just
for sure. Oh god,
he couldn't get close. You couldn't get close to him at all.
I've seen Forshaw. Forshaw only really came back into the starting 11 for Leeds probably in the last few months because one of their players picked up. Calvin Phillips got injured, so Forshaw came back in. I've seen him clean players out. I've seen him bully opposition players. Pogba treated him like a kid. Like, I think some people forget sometimes how big and tall Pogba is because of the way he moves on the ball, because of the way his feet are so quick. He's so agile. And he's surprised.
Such a tall guy. Yeah.
Look, Yaya Toure for me is a better player than Paul Pogba, one of the best in Premier League history. But I always remember when Yaya Toure's acceleration was never there. But once he got going, you couldn't catch him. And that's what I see when Pogba gets the ball. Once he starts opening the stride and driving forward into the open space through the middle of the park, you can't catch him. But at the same time, have him in a little tight space, 2 or 3 players around him, he finds a way out. He can use his strength as well as his feet. There's not really much you can say to describe Paul Pogba because he just actually has it all. He genuinely has it all, and I'd love for him to sign a new contract in the summer. But at the same time, I'm against someone getting 550k a week. If we have to pay him that, look,
I saw your tweet about that, and I was thinking of I understand your point of view that you're against the whole giving them such huge contracts, but at the end of the day, that is in their business, obviously in the football business, that's the money that's within the industry.
Yeah, I can understand that.
If someone wants a higher like contract, it's going to be to that extent, and that's just because of the industry has a lot of money within it.
Yeah, look, I can understand that, and I've been arguing. Look, when secondary school, we had girls and boys or whatever. Football shouldn't get that much. Why are footballers getting that much? I can say, look, TV deals. You're watching the match, so you're giving the money indirectly anyway. Blah, all of this stuff. £1 billion industry, hundreds of billions of pounds is in the Premier League alone. But I think there has to be a limit to what a player can demand because you love Manchester United, apparently. You love playing football. Why do you need 600k a week? Nobody needs that much money. You don't need that much money to play for the club.
It's true. I do.
Like, that's just unreasonable. I'd happily. Manchester United said, "Oh, they want to sign me," and they were like, "Oh, we can only give you 20k a week." Oh, do you think I'm turning that down? No, I love Manchester United. I love playing football. Why? I had 20k a week. That's more than enough. Some people don't even get that in a year, and you're telling me, "Oh, you want 600k?" None of that. What I think about is what other things can they introduce? salary cap, which they do have in, isn't it France? No, that's not France. I think it's Germany. There's a country in Europe that has a salary cap, one of the top 5 leagues. Add-ons like bonuses. If you really want to get that 600k a week, earn it. You could possibly get 600k a week, but you have to meet these demands on the pitch. That's what I think should happen. Not off the bat 600k a week, because then it takes away the incentive to perform, because perform or not, you're getting that money. Do you get what I'm saying? I think we have to think about this logically, and we have to find a way to kind of, obviously some players deserve to be earning that money theoretically, but I just don't think they should be earning that money. I think there has to be a look at it this way. When Mourinho came in, Lingard had a 18-month spell where for about a few of those months he was very, very good. Reward him with a new contract, he probably gets an extra 60 or 70k. Then look what happens. Falls off a cliff completely. Now he's earning that same amount of money, but he's not doing anything. If you sign a new contract and you're getting 550k a week, all the effort you were putting in to get that new contract before, I'm here now. I'm getting my money. Let me just take my foot off the pedal a little bit, because that's what footballers are coming like nowadays. Back in 20 years ago, I remember I was watching a Rooney documentary. He was offered 200k a week in 2010. Wayne Rooney, one of the best English players of all time, one of the best players in the world at the time, was offered 200k. He took it. There was no, I want 400k because I'm Wayne Rooney. I'm going to talk about Salah now. You've got Salah at Liverpool. He said he loves the club. Fans absolutely love him. But I'm kind of on the owner side at this point. And not because it's Liverpool and I want him to leave, but because why do you need 450k a week? You're going to destroy the wage structure. Salah gets 450k a week. Someone else.
Then Mane's going to want. Mane's going to want to demand.
Mane's going to want 350k. Van Dijk is going to want 385k. If you do it for one person, you have to do it for everybody else until the club folds, until the end of time. And all it does is increase what other people want. And that's the problem at Manchester United. As I was saying before, if we get Pogba on a new contract, we have to do our best we have to lowball until the last.
Yeah, second. The thing is, if Pogba gets a new contract, we have Bruno Fernandes. He's already earning less than Sancho.
Yeah.
You have Sancho, obviously, he joined. Ronaldo, obviously, he's the top earner. The system, as he said, is going to keep increasing if we keep giving players such much higher contracts. But at the end of the day, I still believe. I actually have a slight feeling Pogba will stay.
I do as well. I saw a report earlier. Apparently, interest is drying up from other clubs. Like I think Pogba will stay. I just don't agree with us giving him 550k a week because I think he's one of the best in this position, but I just don't think he should be getting that much. Messi, Ronaldo, probably the only two players who I believe genuinely earn what they get straight off the bat. Genuinely. But even then, I'm a bit like, I still don't think you should be getting that much because
for Messi and Ronaldo, it's understandable because at the end of the day, they are bringing money to the club.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there are only two players like that should be probably justified.
There's so many factors which come into the reason why players ask for the amount of money as well. There's many factors, but yeah, Pogba. We did already mention Bruno Fernandes. But Champions League on Wednesday against Atletico Madrid. What was their score today in their game?
I feel like it was 2-0. I saw Suarez's goal.
They still have
halfway
Suarez.
line. My one
halfway line?
He scored from halfway line.
What?
Yeah, crazy. My one football app is not working.
One Football, make sure you sponsor this video. We're not saying your app is bad. It's Anton's phone.
Oh, they won 3-0. They won 3-0 away from home. Atletico Madrid haven't been playing well recently, but obviously they won 3-0 today, so they are finding a little bit of form at the right time for them. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Atletico Madrid, I remember when the draw was done, obviously they had the mishap. I wanted Atletico. I actually wanted Atletico. And that's mainly because I can't remember the last time we played against them. I feel like I'm looking silly, but we haven't played them recently, have we?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, I've always liked, not dreamt of playing against Atletico. That's just weird, but I'm just always been interested. I want to see Manchester United against Atletico. And we have it. We have it in the round of 16, I think, the Champions League. I believe we'll go through, to be honest with you. Look, Ronaldo is athletic, like, you know.
He's in their heads. They're already scared.
They're
already scared.
It's Ronaldo. When the Wanda Metropolitano turns off its lights, you see an effigy of Ronaldo's head just above the stadium. He's in it. Oblak has been appalling this season. I think a 21% save percentage, which is, I think, the lowest in top 5 leagues. He's been awful. There's a lot of things we can take advantage of. Suarez versus Varane, an aging Suarez versus a Varane who's very much in form. Do you want to take a guess as to what the lineup will be before I carry on? I was just gonna kind of just run through what I think is going to be the starting.
Atletico's.
No, for us.
No, you can go through.
See, like, I think obviously we're going to have the Harry in goal. I don't want this, but Maguire is going to be Varane's partner at the back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
I think Dallow's going to play, obviously, because he was rested today. Shaw as well. It's going to be Pogba, I think, next to Fred in the middle. We could go to a 4-3-3, so it could be Pogba and then Fred in the middle and then Fernandes to the right. That's what it could be as well. Or we could just do the 4-2-3 with Pogba and Fred sitting. Rashford on the right, Sancho on the left, and Ronaldo up front. And I do believe, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, I believe Rashford has been deployed on the right, not just because Sancho is very good on both wings and he can play as equally well on the left. I just think putting Rashford on the right eliminates the cutting in and blasting it from the left. Because that's what he does a lot. It comes off sometimes, quite rarely. But if you put him on the right, he's not going to cut in on his left and take
He's basically Ranieri's basically saying, we don't want you to do this. We're putting you on the right.
Yeah, so you have to cross, so you have to have some sort of link-up play. And I noticed it because he cut in once on his left foot and it was a dribbler of a shot. And I was thinking, I haven't seen him do that in so long. I've just been seeing him putting in crosses, the overlap for Dalot. That's why he's playing on the right.
He put in that cross which Sancho scored against Southampton. That's what we want to see because he can do it. You don't want listen, No, Fred. Remember last year we always used to say this. Fred, Champions League is a different player.
Give him a
different player.
Give him a European night, and Fred turns into what's his name? What's that? Roberto, the old Brazilian DM, the one that played for Bayern Munich. Very, very good. But I've got a question for you, Ains. Fred or McTominay? Because by the looks of that, you want McTominay to start, and I don't know what you're talking about.
McTominay Champions League, there's no way.
McTominay Premier League, Carling Cup, I don't want McTominay to start.
But you said Dalot. I'm actually going to say Wan-Bissaka because he will be defending against Carrasco. Carrasco is a very good dribbler.
He's suspended for 3 matches.
And really? Okay.
Yeah, he's not playing.
So they'll play. Who is it? Would they play Griezmann? Correa.
Or Cunha?
Correa. No, I think it'd be Correa. But yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka just for defensive.
I have a direct counter argument to your argument there. They're going to be sitting. They're going to count. They're going to try and get us on the counter. Would you want Wan-Bissaka or Dalot in a match where we're going to be in their half? We're going to be dominant. We're going to have possession. We're going to be the dominant side in the game. We're going to be putting a lot of crosses in. There's going to be a lot of underlapping and overlapping runs. I'd rather have Dalot in that game. If in the second leg,
we're away at the Wanda with Metropolitano, aren't we?
Yeah, say that again.
Yeah, I was reading two things at the same time. The Wanda Metropolitano. That was Italian, but yeah, we're there on Wednesday.
I don't know. Are you saying?
Yeah, we're away. Yeah, we're away.
Yeah, so maybe for the home leg, you might have Wan-Bissaka depending on how the first leg goes. But I'd rather have Dalot because we're going to dominate possession. He's more. I say more confident. attacking.
I'd say for the way like we play Dallo. Actually, no. Yeah,
Because
actually, no. We
they're
play
not going to dominate
Wan-Bissaka
us.
away.
They're not
You
going
can
to
play
dominate
Dallo at
us, bro.
home.
The most that's going to happen is that you have Wan-Bissaka to stop a counter attack, but for the rest of the match, we're going to be the team on top. We do, tend to have quite a lot of possession nowadays. And Atletico Madrid, watch them against Liverpool, soaked up all of the pressure. This was at Anfield, by the way. Soaked up all of the pressure and went and slapped in 2 goals when Llorente came on. I think we're gonna do quite well in this match, to be honest.
We just need to take our chances because that's something we haven't necessarily done that well in last few games. But we do that, I think we'll be comfortable against Atletico. Well, it should be.
Like, I'm excited for the match, man.
Sancho Champions League. I'm telling you, he's going to do bits.
Sancho on the left against SANCHO. I believe that's their right back. And Rashford against Renan Lodi, who's very, very good left back. You've got Jimenez and Felipe at centre back for them. Koke in the middle. What could have been? He had so much promise. I feel like he's stayed there for a bit too long. It's going to be Pogba's show.
Oh yeah, Pogba is going to run the midfield.
Llorente might play right back because Trippier's not there anymore, or he does play centre mid. I'm just thinking about where Griezmann will play. Do you think Griezmann will play between the lines?
They usually play 4-4-2, don't they?
Correa,
Felix and Suarez.
Oh yeah, Felix. I forgot about them. Maybe Suarez might. Maybe Felix might not play. I just don't think this is a match for Maguire, man. If I'm really honest with you, because I'm just thinking they have a lot of tricky players. They will drop the shoulder, and Maguire can't turn. I'd rather have Lindelof in that position where you're jockeying back, and rather than Maguire. Like, have you seen that picture? It's a country in Africa. I don't know what the country is. Everyone is sitting in the back of a trailer, like a Ford.
And then his hand is on.
That picture has been living in my mind rent free ever since I saw it. And all I can think about is João Felix 1-on-1 with Maguire at the back, last man, or something. However, he finds himself in that position so often, I don't know. But Jinky left and right run. Maguire can't turn, just cleans him out. Red card, boom, handle pulled. Everyone falls out. That's all I can think of. Honestly, that's what I think. Even if Bayo was back, not sure why it wouldn't happen, but it should happen. Bailly and Varane as the centre back partnership, because that right there is a brick wall. It's a dangerous brick wall. But yeah, I think Maguire will start. I don't think he should start, but let's hope for the win anyway. Good evening, Ron.
What do you think about the captaincy? Apparently, Maguire tweeted out clearing the air around or surrounding the situation that people say, Ronaldo should be the captain. Maguire is just...
It was a mess. It was a whole mess. I agree with the Maguire shouldn't be captain, but I don't think Ronaldo should be the captain. Because if you... Listen, doesn't matter what club you're at, Manchester United or Yeovil Town, if you replace the captain with someone else just until the end of the season, regardless of whether you rate Maguire, regardless of whether you like him, hate him, think he's good or bad, that undermines him so much. Yes, it might be beneficial for Ronaldo to have the captain's armband, but on a human level, think about how that would make Maguire feel. You're not going to get the best out of him. I don't care what people say when they say like, oh, the pressure of the armband is weighing him down. Take it off him and give it to Ronaldo. If you're just giving it to Ronaldo until the end of the season, I'd feel like a dickhead. I'd feel like an idiot. I actually feel like an idiot, and I'd feel disrespected. I feel this and that. I personally think the armband should go to Bruno Fernandes because he's going to be here for the foreseeable future, indefinitely. And he is a leader. He's won he is the vice captain. Even when Ronaldo's on the pitch, he wears the armband. So why would you skip Fernandes and give it to Ronaldo? That was what didn't make sense to me. The whole give it to Ronaldo instead of Maguire, because Fernandes is the vice captain.
Ronaldo is not even a club captain. He's just a country captain. He hasn't captain club teams.
Big Roy Keane. Why did I say Big Roy Keane? Oh, because the big one. Roy Keane and Schmeichel had a punch up for the armband. Peter left, not long after. Listen, Oldham football. If that happened today,
like the armband doesn't have as much weight like that nowadays.
I think it should though. That's the thing. Like when you, as I said, Fernandes should be captain. When you have someone like Fernandes in the dressing room, whether or not Ronaldo is there, Fernandes is for me the captain of Manchester United. I believe it in my heart. I don't think he's a whiner, or cry. I don't know what to say whiner. I don't think he's a crybaby. I just think he has passion. Expectations. He knows. Look, you're in a team with Ronaldo, Pogba, De Gea, Varane, Sancho, and you're struggling for fourth. Like he will know better than anybody else because he's been there for a couple of years now. That we're so much better than we've been this season. He wouldn't give it to De Gea. Ranić said he'd prefer the captain to be an outfield player. That was when he had to pick between Ronaldo and De Gea because Fernandes and Maguire were out. So De Gea wouldn't get the armband regardless. But it should be Fernandes. I think all of this has been fake. The whole, even Ranić came out and said it's fake. Like he hasn't had that discussion. They haven't had that discussion. I believed it was fake from the second I heard it because where was Fernandes' name in the whole thing? He's the vice captain of Manchester United, confirmed. Why would it suddenly skip over him for Ronaldo? For me, that was PR. For me, that was silly leaks or made up. Someone said something somewhere and a Chinese whispers happened. And when it got to the Twitter space or page, it was a bit misconstrued. The thing is, my personal opinion.
I hate how all these leaks are coming out of the club in recent weeks. There's been so much that's been leaked out, media, out the players, unrest, all this stuff. But all I want to see is just performance on the pitch. I think, as you said earlier in the show, we're now looking more cohesive, looking more confident as a team going forward. And I just want to see the performances on the pitch. I've had enough of reading all these. Whenever I go on Twitter and I see everything, I've had enough of seeing this stuff on Twitter. But look how Bruno gave the ball away for Leeds equaliser.
I think that's just modern football, to be perfectly honest with you. He gave the ball away. He got touched. His ankle got touched, but it just wasn't a foul. Everyone exaggerates. There's very few players nowadays that Scott Brown for Celtic is the only person I can think of in today's football that will get booted on the ankle and just get up straight away. To be perfectly honest, everyone goes down like that. And when you concede straight after, obviously you're going to try and milk it. VAR is a thing. It's not good to cheat or whatever, but I don't really think that's cheating because, he got kicked, but it wasn't a foul. I just think Bruno should be captain. He's been our best player since he came in. He's by himself, raised the standards of the club. He carried us. Like, when I say carried us, without him, we would have been mid-table at best, honestly. David De Gea has been our player of the season so far, but it doesn't mean he should be the captain. Wan-Bissaka was... Why did I say Wan-Bissaka?
He was. Wan-Bissaka was one of our best defenders.
Yeah, for when he first came in. It doesn't mean he should be captain. I think captain, for me, should be on the pitch. Who do you look to? But this is my definition. Other people might have different definitions, but on the pitch, who do you look to be inspired? Who's been performing the best? Who has the highest standards? Who has the level of consistency at this club to earn the respect of the other players? Instantly, for me, that rules out Maguire. Not just hating on him, he just hasn't been consistent or good enough since he came to the club. And it puts Fernandes right in the correct position. Probably the only player who deserves to be captain of that alone. He's been consistent. His stats since he came in are that of a striker, and he's an attacking midfielder. He's been ridiculous. He raised the standards of the club. He almost got us Champions League when he came in January, and he's outperformed the majority of the league since he came in. I can't see anybody else who deserves to be captain. If Ronaldo was here for a couple of years, yeah, cool, but I don't think he should come in and take the armband off Maguire straight away. I think it should be Fernandes. That's why I think the rumors were fake, because why'd you skip Fernandes? And Ibs was right.
Yeah, go on.
He's an international captain because he's Ronaldo. Look, Portuguese top scorer, their best ever player. I don't see anybody else in that squad who could be captain. Probably Matinho or Patricio, whatever. But Ronaldo is made for the Portuguese captain's armband. But he's only ever captain Manchester United once or twice. Twice now, I think. Real Madrid once. Never Juventus. Never Sporting. He's not a club captain. Yes and no. I think when you're at Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, and you're the captain, and you're genuinely one of the worst players on the pitch, that's when it becomes an issue. Because you're captain, you are playing that. If he didn't ever get made captain, he wouldn't play half the games he played. Honestly, that's why it's such a big issue now, because of the results that have gone against us, and because he has genuinely been the reason, or one of the reasons, why we've been losing games and drawing games, and he's got the armband on starting game every single game. He's the first name on the team sheet because he's the captain. That's the problem that people have with it, and that's why there's such a big issue, because not just in football, but even if you're manager, imagine you're at work now and your whole team is doing well, but your manager is messing things up and you're not meeting targets because of your manager, and you're not getting this done because the manager isn't good enough. You're going to think, we need a new manager. We need to get someone else in who's able to lead us like a captain and get us to delivering the results. Maguire isn't helping a team get the results we need. If anything, he's holding us back a little bit in the individual performances that he's putting in. I'm thinking about Leipzig last season. We went out because Maguire couldn't lead that back line. We went out because Maguire didn't block that cross. Not because he couldn't get there, but because he just, for some reason, decided not to. His decision-making isn't good. I don't think he's a natural leader. He doesn't have any accolades in the game.
I think he is a natural leader, because even for England, he is still in the leadership team. So he probably is a natural leader, but just not for our team.
Not for Manchester United, especially not for Manchester United. That's why it's a big issue for me and a lot of other fans, because as a captain, especially as a captain, you should be, at least, if you're not the best at the club, you should at least be consistent. You should at least be a mistake. Like, what's the word?
Prone to making mistakes.
You shouldn't be prone to making mistakes, yeah. But Maguire is. Maguire is the world's most expensive defender.
I think it's true. Ralph doesn't need that. Ralph doesn't need that problem right now to change the captain. That's not his role. He doesn't need to do that. The next manager can do that and face the what comes next.
He did get dropped. He did drop Maguire. I don't.
He dropped him. I thought he meant like captaincy.
Oh no, Ralph does have the balls to drop Maguire.
Yeah,
I don't think the club let him drop Maguire. I think he's been getting spoken to from above, saying, "Look, we just paid 8 million for him. You can't drop him. You have to play him." Also, he's a club captain, which coincidentally works in our favor. I think Ranić is more than happy to drop Maguire, but he's just not allowed. That's what I think. Manchester United is a political club.
Yeah, it's the same with Lukaku at Chelsea. Lukaku kind of has to play. Lukaku had 7 touches against Crystal Palace yesterday. One of them from kickoff, 2 in the first half, 1 from kickoff. But yeah, he plays the whole game.
Since Opta records began, I think in 2003, that is the lowest amount of touches a player has had in 90 minutes when he played the whole match.
Oh, yeah. The captaincy thing, obviously Pogba could have been captain, got it removed by Jose Mourinho.
Yeah. I think that was right. Because of the flirting with other clubs, that was right. But he was part of a back two with Gary Pallister. I wasn't alive at this time, so you're probably going to tell me that I'm wrong, because obviously you were able to watch the matches. But Gary Pallister and Steve Bruce is spoken as one of the best defensive partnerships Manchester United has had in the Premier League. That's competing with Stam and Ronnie Johnson, Vidic and Ferdinand, Maguire and Lindelof. You have
Terry.
No, I'm talking about Manchester United ones.
Oh, yeah.
Who was after Vidic and Ferdinand? Do you remember when we had
like Phil Jones and Johnny Evans?
Jones and Smalling under?
Oh yeah, Smalling.
Smalling and Bailly under. No, there was Jones and
Van
Smalling
Gaal?
under Van Gaal. That 14-15 season. That was our defense was amazing.
Rojo and someone.
Rojo and Smalling. Smalling was the one, but I can't remember who his partner was. But that 14-15 season, our defense was amazing.
Fred. Yeah, Fred, perfect position for him on the bench. Came on, new energy. That's what we need from Fred. We've been saying this. Needs to come off the bench. Champions League, we both agree that he should start because he performs in that competition. There's less pressure. It's
More
not
time
as
on the ball.
more time on the ball. His touch, he have a bad touch, but then he's not getting pressed like in the Prem. So, and today the wet conditions, maybe he might have had a bad touch, but the ball got held up in the rain. We don't know.
That shot was his first touch.
Yeah, but yeah, Fred had a very good cameo. So it's weird though. I don't know if he's good or bad, but
I think he's
not good enough
obviously
to
a good
start.
footballer. He's obviously a good footballer. I just don't think he's someone that you start in your midfield every match if you want to win titles. Good impact player.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. But yeah, Wednesday, 23rd, playing Atletico away. First leg of the round of 16? I was about to say quarterfinal. I think we found the key to unlock Thursday. The game needs to be played.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, round of 16 on Wednesday. We should get the win. I'm gonna say 2-1. We're gonna concede.
I don't think we're gonna concede, man. David De Gea back in his home. He's gonna have an inspired performance. Rafa Varane back in Spain. He loves it there. He's gonna have
back in Spain.
Listen, I don't think we're scoring more than. I don't think we're scoring less than 2. I don't think we're conceding. I think it's gonna be a 3-0 whitewash. I'm gonna think it's gonna be a 3-0 whitewash.
Very confident. Very confident.
I said 3-0 whitewash.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. It's been United Talk. It's been a good week for Man U. Obviously, conceded 2 goals this week. Today, beat Brighton midweek 2-0. And yeah, we look forward to next week. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.